Hi, first graders. This week we are talking about associations. And if we haven't met yet for foundations, that's going to be a new word. Associations, it looks like this. This is the sign. We put our finger on our head and then we bring it together like this. That's a little tricky, so let's see if we can figure out a way to remember that. Associations means taking a word from our head and linking it together with another word because they go together. The words go together, okay? And we're going to do a couple of things to practice that. The first thing I want to do though is read a story. And this story is called Grumpy Monkey. So while we're reading this story, I'd like you to think of words that are associated with or go together with being grumpy. What are the things that we associate with being grumpy? How do we look when we're grumpy? How do we behave or act when we're grumpy? And let's see if we can see some of those things in our story called Grumpy Monkey. So let's see here. This book is about a monkey called Chimpanzee. So let's see here. One wonderful day, Chimpanzee woke up to discover that nothing was right. Let's take a look at Chimpanzee and see what he's looking like there. Oh dear. He looks like he might be grumpy, and I wonder what about him makes us know that. What about his body or the way that he's looking makes us think that? The sun was too bright, the sky was too blue, and the bananas were too sweet. Jim was confused. What's going on? Maybe you're grumpy, suggested Norman from next door. I'm not grumpy, Jim insisted. He doesn't think he looks grumpy, but there's some things about the way that he's standing and the way his face looks that I associate with grumpiness. Let's see. On his walk, he met Marabou. Jim's grumpy, Norman told Marabou. Why are you grumpy, Jim? Asked Marabou. It's such a wonderful day. Grumpy? Me? I'm not grumpy, said Jim. But look at how you're standing, Marabou said. It's true, said Norman. You're all hunched. So one of the things that they associate with being grumpy is he's kind of like this. Having hunched shoulders is something we could associate with maybe feeling grumpy. So Jim loosened up. He's like, okay, I'm not going to stand with my shoulders hunched. Then he ran into Lemur. Jim's grumpy, Norman told Lemur. Why are you grumpy, Jim? Asked Lemur. It's such a wonderful day. Grumpy? Me? I'm not grumpy, said Jim. Your eyebrows look grumpy, said Lemur. It's true, said Norman. They're all bunched up. This is what eyebrows look like when they're bunched up. Is this something that you associate with being grumpy? I think so. So Jim raised his eyebrows. He went like this. So he put his shoulders back before because he didn't want to be hunched, and he put his eyebrows up. He doesn't want to look grumpy. He doesn't want to do things associated with being grumpy. Then he tripped over Snake. Oh no, said Norman. That's the last thing you need when you're feeling so grumpy. Grumpy? Me? I'm not grumpy, said Jim. Then why that frown? Right? Why that frown? I think it's because he tripped over you, Norman whispered to Snake. So Jim put on a smile. Here's Jim with his big smile. He's really trying not to do things that make him look grumpy. Finally, Jim looked happy. Now you tell me, does Jim look happy? What do you think? He's trying really hard, isn't he? But he didn't feel happy inside yet. Everyone wanted Jim to enjoy this wonderful day. You should sing with us. So these are things that we would associate with feeling happy, right? Let's listen. You should sing with us, said the birds. But Jim didn't feel like singing. You should swing with us, said the monkeys. But Jim didn't feel like swinging. So singing and swinging, these are things that we might do if we feel happy. You should roll with us, said the zebras. But Jim didn't feel like rolling. You should stroll with us, said the peacocks. But Jim didn't feel like strolling. You should lie in the grass, said the lions. You should stomp your feet, said the elephants. Oh, there's lots of suggestions now. You should take a bath and make a splash. You should hug someone. You should laugh. You should take a nap. You should eat old meat or some honey. You should jump up and down. You should sit in the sun. You should dance. But Jim didn't feel like doing any of that. Why are you grumpy? Jim asked the others. It's such a wonderful day. And Jim said, I'm not grumpy. And he stormed off. Storming off means that you kind of walk away while you're stamping your feet. And that is something that I associate with somebody who's a little grumpy. Jim felt very sorry. A little sorry for shouting at everyone, but mostly sorry for himself. I guess I am grumpy, Jim sighed. And just as he was starting to feel really sad, here he is, look at his face. Oh, there's so many things that I associate there with feeling sad. Just as he was starting to feel really sad, he came upon Norman. And let's take a good look at Norman really quick before I finish reading this page. Oh dear, look at Norman's face. Look at his bottom. Oh dear. Norman was slumped. His eyebrows were bunched up. And he was frowning. What's the matter? Are you grumpy? Asked Jim. Nope. I danced with a porcupine, said Norman. Here they are sitting together. Are you okay? Asked Jim. It hurts, but I'll feel better soon enough, said Norman. Are you still grumpy? Yes, said Jim, but I'll probably feel better soon enough too. For now, I just need to be grumpy. Well, it's a wonderful day to be grumpy, said Norman. And Jim agreed. And he already felt a little better. So you can see from them there that there's things that you can associate with being happy. I see some smiles and I see bright eyes, right? And they're touching each other, right? Seems like they're feeling a little happier there. So in the story, Jim came upon his friends and they noticed things about him that they associated with being grumpy. They noticed eyebrows and slumped shoulders and a frown. And then he stormed off, remember? Those are all things that we associate with being grumpy, okay? So we're going to do a couple of other things to practice this idea of associations or things that go together. Okay, so in the story, we thought of things that were associated with being grumpy. Now I'd like to go for a little walk around the neighborhood and see if we can find things that we associate with fall. Hi, first graders. I want to take a walk around and see if we can find things that we associate with fall. Okay, so I'm going to start around the house and then we're going to go outside and see what else we can find that we associate with fall. One of the things I associate with fall is cider. We go and we pick apples and we get some cider and we get some donuts. Cider is associated with fall. Which means another thing we associate with fall is apples. Apples are all done growing in the fall, and so we can pick apples and eat things like apple pie and drink things like apple cider. Another thing we might associate with fall is Halloween. Some people celebrate Halloween where we go trick-or-treating, and sometimes people put out spooky decorations. Spooky decorations are associated with fall. Another thing we might associate with fall is scarecrows. Scarecrows are usually in fields to scare crows away, but these scarecrows are in somebody's front yard. And pumpkins. We see lots of pumpkins around in the fall. Pumpkins take all summer long to grow, and they finish growing in the fall, and they get put out as decorations in the fall. Another thing we associate with fall is leaves on the ground. They crunch under our feet, and they make that sound that we hear that we associate with fall. Another thing we associate with fall is bright, colorful leaves. We see them all around in the trees right now. They're red and orange and yellow. That's what they look like before they fall to the ground. But colorful leaves are associated with fall. Were any of the things that we saw things that you associate with fall? What are some other things that you can associate with fall? One of the things I think of that we didn't see on our walk was football. Football is something that happens in the fall that I associate with fall, but that we didn't see on our walk. Can you think of any other things? I'll see you guys later.